I'm Greg Owen, motorcyclist and lawyer. I've been riding, racing, building, and collecting motorcycles for the past 40 years. During my time as a professional motocross racer in the 70s, I decided to give up my racing career and become a lawyer. I did that to help other riders who had nowhere else to turn. Over the course of my 30-year career, I've represented hundreds of injured clients and resolved their cases for more than $900 million. My goal is to tell the history of motorcycling in America, one bike and one rider at a time. We're here at the 2012 Trailblazers Banquet, and I'm here with a very distinguished inductee. His name is Dan Rouit. Dan, good afternoon.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for speaking with us here today. I just want you to know that I've followed your career, both your racing career and then your museum, which is really the only museum like it in the country. Wouldn't you agree?
In the world.
In the world.
In the world, yeah.
Okay.
That's what we were told by the AMA.
But you know what, I'd like to start before that, because I've gone on the internet to find out about you. You were a very successful District 35 flat tracker, weren't you?
I won my share, yeah. I did good. I started out at 12 years old on a Bull Taco Persang, and within one season decided to jump up to a Triumph 650 TT Special. So I started out right at about 13 years old on a 40-inch Triumph on the scrambles.
So what area was that in?
We call it District 35. It was from Merced to Bakersfield.
That's a pretty fast district, because I know that District 37 guys competed against 35 guys, and they were always arguing who was fastest.
Right, and then also the District 36 guys were even hotter, as far as we were concerned. When we saw those guys coming down, for our district, you had your work cut out for you to beat them guys.
So tell me about the Persang. What year and model?
It was a 69 Persang, and then we bought it used, and there was a Fresno rider who made pro. He rode for Wilson's Triumph. His name was Todd Sloan,
okay.
And it was his pro novice bike that he got his points on, and then we bought it, and I rode 250 novice in District 35.
That makes some pretty good horsepower?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what they did, but Bull Tacos were a pretty hot bike in their day. Expensive to fix when they broke, that was for sure.
Well, then you move on to a Triumph, which is, when you think about flat tracking, what do you think about? You think about Triumphs.
Right, yeah. I, as a kid growing up, going to the races, my dad started taking me in 65, and it was all Triumphs, BSAs, and, of course, the Harleys. But to watch the sound of the Triumphs, and I don't know, we just got into the Triumphs.
So how long did you race for?
I raced from 1970 to 78, October 78, and I got to ride actually some different bikes throughout the years. I rode for Can-Am factory through a sportsman sponsorship through the factory, though, out of a shop out of Merced called Yosemite Sports Cycles.
I've heard of that. Now, the Can-Ams of that era were really fast.
Yeah, they were good. I'd never ridden the small bikes, and they wanted me to ride the 125, and all I was used to was the Triumph. So it took me a while to get used to the lightness and the shifting on the other side and all stuff, but we had a real good time. It was a fun thing for a teenager to do,
They were a little peakier. They were rotary valve? Is that what they were?
Rotary valve, yes they were. Yes they were.
So you had about 8 good years of racing.
Yes.
Looking back on those 8 years, were they as good as I think they were for you?
Oh, it kept me out of a lot of trouble, and me and my friends, we all say that we had our best time when we were going racing. That's it.
Well, today I don't think I can open a magazine or look online without some information about your museum. I'd like you to talk about it, but I'd just like to tell you, I've never seen a motorcycle museum like yours, and I travel the world. I mean, I've just been to England, there are a couple there, and they don't stack up. Can you tell us when you decided to open up this museum?
Well, my dad and I had the dream in 65 or so, and we just never had the resources. So I met my wife-to-be, Kathy, in 1980. She came to work with me as my caretaker, and I wrangled her around in 91 and got her to marry me. And I'd always told her about my dream, and she said, well, let's see if we could, now that we're married, let's pull our resources and see if we can get it started. So it was all my wife's doing that really brought my dream to life, and we started off with our first building in 91, and it was 30 by 40 foot at 1,200 square feet, and we were she was up on a ladder hanging posters one day, and I said, you know, honey, we'll never get this room full. We'll never be able to get the enthusiasm that I feel that I have for it. And now we're up to 5,000 square feet.
Wow.
I just never thought it'd grow like that.
Let me ask you this question. Are they all flat trackers, short trackers?
Yes, all we have is oval track racers, got some speedway bikes, and then basically all oval track racers.
Well, and looking what I've seen online and I've seen in the various motorcycle publications, you've got that place stuffed with incredibly historical bikes.
Well, we hope so. We like trying more stuff with history. You know, we're always looking for people that want to donate, or if we can afford it, we try to get it. You know, whether it be posters, autographed number plates, steel shoes, you name it. If it's flat track, we're looking for it.
What does the future hold for your museum?
Well, we just want to keep growing. You know, we've become incorporated. We have a board of directors, and so it's set up that if something happens to me, that the other guys, Digger Helm and Bob Miller, my wife, Kathy, will just keep it going.
One of the reasons we do these videos is to document motorcycling, and it just seems that nobody's doing it. And when I see people like you and the other people here who have ridden their entire lives and have very, very rich histories, your job, you're documenting on your side. You're getting the motorcycles, you're buying the memorabilia. I mean, someone goes up there and it's like a time capsule. And if you didn't do it, nobody would be doing it. So I just want to thank you for what you're doing.
Well, people tell me, they appreciate what we're doing, but I'll tell you, it's a labor of love, and I'm so honored to be here today, to be inducted into this wonderful Hall of Fame. I just keep. For the first 3 nights after they told me last year at our open house, I woke up 3 nights in a row out of a stark sleep and woke up crying, telling my wife, why? Why'd they pick me? But I'm just doing it, I just love it.
Because you're an incredible man, you've got an incredible racing history, and what you're doing for our sport and the history of our sport has never been done before. Thank you very much, Dan.
You're very welcome. Thank you to everybody that's involved and wants to get involved in. Anybody that loves flat track or has any enthusiasm is welcome. Just let us know and come up and see us anytime.
Well, I guarantee I will.